Okay, hello, my name is Magdalena Roszek. I come from Poland, from University of Medical Sciences, and our presentation will be about interactive content for distance education. First of all, I want to say that it's an important part of the education materials and make a significant impact on the memorization process. Of course, with the development of programming technologies, the range of interactive elements such as games, simulations, decision-making labyrinths that match the characteristic of the knowledge they present has significantly expanded. But first step is that we must say something about the terms interactive and interaction, which have gained a new context and now refer to the cooperation between people and software interfaces. In a sense, it's the cooperation of the programmer who develops software with the software user. For us, software user is, of course, the learner. And few sentences about several types of the possible interaction with the software. When I think about the interaction, I'm thinking about the standard interaction without additional hardware components. So the interaction like this can be based only on integrated information input and output devices, such as keyboard, typing text, operating the arrow case, placing the mouse arrow over a button, an option selection field or an area defined by the programmer, the monitor screen, and the last one, of course, is the playing a digital sound with or without an image. But of course, we must remember about cameras, motion sensors, and microphones with the voice recognition, but are a category of devices with additional software, often non-standard and custom-made. Okay, and now a few words about interactive content. Assimilation, maybe short definition about these elements. Assimilation shows a student a model of a problem, a phenomena, or, for example, the interior of a body or the functionality of the software that the student is learning to use. Game, for me, is the educational science that implements a story that contains various educational situations that are always related to the studied matter. And the question, what makes this game different from the other interactive elements? The difference is the scenario. It should be cohesive, monothematic, and must facilitate focusing on the learning process. And the last example, but not least, action maze. A student is presented a problem in the form of a text or a film and recommended ways to solve it. And one of the recommended options must be selected. Each selection, of course, leads to another problem and with the new options to choose from. And now maybe a few words about technologies. Currently, programmers can use a number of technologies for the creating interactive content. All of them comply with the standards for the publication on the World Wide Web, which are strictly defined. And quick development of technologies doesn't change the standards. And we must remember that all the materials edited for distance learning must be prepared for the distribution from World Wide Web server resources, so must be saved in the HTML standard files. Of course, new technologies are not free of shortcomings. And let's think about the technologies which, by the definition, they are not available in the operating system of the user's computers, like, for example, Android, or are only for this, are connected with the operating system of the single device brand, like Silverlight, which is connected with the Microsoft, or sometimes the technologies are not available in the computers with the low capacity. And sometimes we must think about the installation by the administrator, or we should have more money for servicing of the computers. So we must remember about it. And that's why my team recommend that authors of interactive materials should use the applications which help us to do the application process in in an automatic way. Because the manual preparation of the correct files is a difficult process, as it requires high competencies in using the relevant standards and information processing technologies. But e-learning editors were developed in order to facilitate and automate this process. And their authors don't assume that the user knows how to use the technologies, discussed on the slide number 4. And now maybe something more about editors. We must remember, and in editors, e-learning editors, for creating automatically materials, about templates of interaction with the user. Programmers supplement editors like this with the templates in agreement with e-learning method experts, and templates like this should be put in the groups and designed as an interactive templates. And these templates are very, very important for us. And now maybe I show you some examples for games and one example for action maze in my freeware, call it learning content development system. And let's go to my material from classes. It's a part of e-learning materials, and I show you 2 games. One of them will be sword game, and the second one will be till game, and one example for action maze. Let's start. Okay, maybe one example from inside, and this is a till game. This is a short game, and here we see information for the students in Polish, but doesn't matter, it can be in any different languages. And we see the cards, different cards with the terms which are connected with the measurement scale. I'm thinking now about ordinal scale, and one of the choice is correct, connected with the measurement scale. And let's see, if I decide this side as correct, submit the term, and I have on the correct shift. And the next term, and the student has choice, and let's choose this side now, and this is also correct. And let's go to the next term, and we do it like this. And it's a good idea to do the revision, especially for the some part of the material, because you can do it this game like self-test by yourself before the examination, for example. Okay, let's go to the next game, which is connected with the correlation problem, because we discuss now about the statistical analysis. And once again, you have the information for the student, what's going on in this game, and we start. We have terms, animation, and 2 containers. One container is connected with the terms for the correlation, and the second one when our terms are not connected with the correlation. And let's start. For example, first word, Spearman correlation. It's of course for the correlation, so we decided to put this term here. The next question, let's think it is not for the correlation. Okay, and you see that is not correct answer, so the term is in this line. Okay, let's use the next term to the correct container. This one is not for the correlation, this one is for the correlation. And of course I know the answers, but you can practice with your students during the classes, and it's a very good educational process. And if we finish, your students see the final revision once again. Let's do it very quickly. Okay, this is not correct, this is correct, this is also correct, and the last one, it's not correct, so it must be term connected with the correlation. And the final step, we see once again the terms in 2 containers, one of them for the correlation, and the student can do the revision one more time, and the same the second container. Okay, and that's all with the game. And now my last example connected with the action maze. Here we have labyrinth. And we have a statistical problem, and we have this first question. On the second side, we see the part of the database and 2 possibilities. We must choose one of them. Let's see. When I choose one of them, I have the next question and three possibilities. And also I must decide which one is correct. Let's use the second one. Okay, the second one and the next problem. And when we go to the next, we have the next advices, and this moment is the part of the statistical package. And we go to the next step, next question, and if we do it like this, we of course can do the revision, or revision before the test, or after some part of the subject. Okay, and here we have the question about the power of the correlation, positive or negative, and like we see from the picture, this one, of course, R-Spearman is a correlation coefficient, which gives us that this must be positive correlation. And the last question about the power of the correlation, is it poor or not poor? Of course, it's not poor. And the last question, and our congratulations for the students. I'm here, and this is my colleague, a teacher from the department, and this is the last step for the students. Okay, I think that we can back to the, we can go now to the last step, and the last step is the conclusion. I think that interactive materials are very important, and today we must remember that we have a lot of dynamically developing technologies to use for creating interactive elements. And my team think that the number of innovation ideas that are worth in implementation in the educational materials can be useful also in your practices. So that's all from my team, and thank you for your attention.